Question is whether Prime Minister Keir Starmer will be around to implement the program, and if he does survive the latest government crisis, will he be able to push his proposals through Parliament? News and analysis, townhall.com. It seems that America's youngsters are not doing so well when it comes to at least one of the 3 R's.
Researchers warn the U.S. is going through a reading recession, a slide that predates the COVID pandemic. A new analysis of scores from 3rd through 8th grade for 5,000 school districts in 38 states found that only 5 states had meaningful growth in reading test scores from 2022 to 25. It also finds students remain nearly a half grade level behind pre-pandemic scores in reading. Jason Walker reporting.
Hotels say the promised economic windfall from the World Cup hasn't materialized yet. The American Hotel and Lodging Association reports room bookings are lighter than expected in most of the 11 U.S. host cities roughly a month ago before the start of the most-watched sports tournament in the world. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And good morning to everyone listening to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show on the John Fredericks Media Network. We are indeed broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It is time for the Morning Rundown, which is brought to you every weekday at this time by our very good friends at the Glock Store. TheGlockStore.com, located just a few miles from the airport, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So here we go. Here is the Morning Rundown for Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. Number 1, Donald Trump arrived in China about an hour and a half ago. Great big hoopla there. He's been accompanied by 15 CEOs. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, I think, is with him. Secretary of Defense Hicks. I saw him coming down the stairs from Air Force One. He was joined by his son Eric and his daughter-in-law Laura Trump, and they gave him a big reception. But I don't know, about 300 or 400 young Chinese kids waving Chinese flags and American flags. So, but the real deal will happen tomorrow. When he meets with President Xi. Number 2, Kash Patel had a dust-up with Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland yesterday at a hearing. It was over margaritas and alcohol. We'll have the clip of that in a bit. Yeah, remember Chris Van Hollen? He went down to El Salvador and had a margarita with illegal alien Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Number 3, Tennessee Speaker of the House Cam Sexton has dropped the hammer on all the Democrats who caused chaos in the Tennessee House of Representatives last week. You know, they yelling and screaming and blowing air horns, etc. And, you know, part of the crowd intimidating Republicans there. Doesn't matter because of the redistricting passed. Guess what? They are now off all committees. So, except there's one standing committee, government operations, where they have to have one Democrat on. So they're on that. So, and the Democrats are whining. Number 4, speaking of Democrats, here in Tennessee, well, they may be challenging in court, but their actions say, yeah, we think those challenges won't work. Why do I say that? Well, we've got Democrats lining up to run for Congress in the new districts. Justin Pearson, you know Justin Pearson. He of the dropping F-bombs and going after everybody decent, that guy. He is running in the new 9th, which goes from Shelby County all the way up to Williamson, Rutherford County, just south of Nashville. But London Lamar, the state senator from Memphis, is going to get in that race as well on the 9th. And, of course, the Republican side's got State Senator Brent Taylor as the favorite. Then in the 6th district, which gets parts of Davidson County, all of Wilson County, and some rural counties to the east. Currently, that district, it's maybe 80% of the current district, is represented by Congressman John Rose, who's running for governor. Guess who's getting into that race? Yeah, you heard it. The disgraced mayor of Nashville, Tennessee, Megan Barry. Now, those of you who have kind of not paid attention to all the Nashville drama soap opera from her era as mayor, I think, 2017, 2018, we will play the lowlights. Yeah, what happened? She was having an affair with her bodyguard, and he got like $174,000 of overtime for protecting her. Highly personalized service, apparently. And they flew all over the world together. And so she resigned in disgrace. She pled guilty to a felony of misuse of public funds. Her record was expunged. And now she thinks she's going to be the epitome of the Democratic Party. Maybe she is. So she's in. And we'll talk with Tom Pappert about that at the bottom of this hour. That's number 5, Tom Pappert, the greatest hits of Megan Barry and the politics thereof. Number 6, Judson Phillips, the founder of Tea Party Nation and former assistant attorney general here in Tennessee, joins us in hour 2. We'll talk about legal challenges to redistricting and other hot political issues. Number 7, Sean Farash joins us in hour 3. And, of course, Sean is the very greatest Trump impersonator in the world. He'll have that. And he dropped another video about UFOs, illegal aliens, Marvin the Martian. It was really funny. So we'll talk about that with him as well. So there you go. That is a morning rundown for Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. It is brought to you, as you know, by our very good friends at the Glock Store, glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport right here in Nashville. Founded by the CEO there, Lenny McGill. I think we'll have him in next week, maybe in studio. He's always fun. He brings energy and excitement. So he moved the Glock Store from California, where he founded it over 30 years ago, to Nashville about 6 years ago. And they celebrate every year the Nashville Open House. This year, it'll be the 6th annual open house. It's going to be Saturday, May 30th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 hours. It's always a lot of fun. Last year at this event, they went double down on the raffle. They gave away $25,000 worth of great gear, including 3 Glocks, in one day in 4 hours. That was twice as much as the year before. Well, this year, they're going to do it again. They're going to double down again. They have over $50,000 worth of great gear to give away in just one day, in just 4 hours. From Red Dot Optics to Radian Ramjets. If it's the latest and greatest, they're giving them away Saturday, May 30th. The earlier you come, the fewer raffle tickets in the bucket, the better your chances of winning, and winning early. I'll be there, so should you. The Glock Store's 6th annual Nashville Open House, Saturday, May 30th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere. I mean anywhere, especially Saturday, May 30th. And by the way, I'll be there. And if you have driven a fur piece to get there, come up and say hi and tell me the state you're from. Right now, I think my guess is the furthest distance will be, I don't know why I say this, but North Dakota. I think somebody from North Dakota is going to come. I don't know why. I just have this North Dakota feeling about it. So there you go. The Glock Store. 6th annual Nashville Open House, Saturday, May 30th. Come on down and say hello. All right, let's talk about Trump in China. Now, he's probably, I don't know, does he ever sleep? They took Air Force One. Let's go quickly to Hugh Hewitt, clip 2.
I think he arrives in Beijing in as strong a position as any American president has in the last 25 years, following the 3 successful uses of military power in the last year, both Midnight Hammer and then Epic Fury, and in between Maduro. So he sits down opposite Xi Jinping, who's a very cold, ruthless military dictator, but he does so from a position of strength, and I believe if there is any help to be had, he'll get it from Xi, but Xi needs him to help them because they need that oil. So I think Xi would like Trump to figure a way to get this finished.
All right, so for 4 years, the Biden administration...
Okay. Well, because in China, you know, they are not energy independent. They get a big chunk of oil from Iran, and that's been cut off by the blockade. So we'll see how that all plays out. Congressman Stutzman has a few words on China. He was on John Solomon yesterday. Let's hear what he had to say. Clip 4.
Absolutely. And I think, again, this is such a strong power move by President Trump by going to Beijing and saying, you know what, I'm coming to you guys. We're going to talk about elections. We're going to talk about trade. We're going to talk about Iran. And you know what, I think China has a very weak underbelly. And that's why they haven't made any big moves when it comes to Maduro in Venezuela or the Iranian situation, even though they may have, sent some weapons into Iran.
Well, we'll see how that all plays out. China has a weak underbelly. We'll see. Certainly it's a show of force and power by Donald Trump to go there with 15 CEOs. That's pretty impressive. All right, when we come back, if you forgot about it or never heard about it, the disgraceful debacle of the resignation and conviction on a plea deal of former disgraced National Mayor Megan Barry. She's back in politics today. Back after this.
Ponder this. We intake oxygen every time we breathe, and breathing is how we stay alive. When God first created man, he breathed life into him. Our Lord also breathed spiritual life into his apostles and filled them with the Holy Spirit at the first Pentecost. Oxygen is a source of life both physically and spiritually. It's the same with fire. Oxygen is needed in order to keep a fire burning, which begs the question, are you on fire for the Lord, or has your spiritual oxygen been extinguished? To answer this, we must go to the source. The source of our spiritual oxygen is the Lord himself. Without him, there is no life within us. Those are his words, not mine. We are called to tap into this life source by baptism, daily prayer, and receiving the sacraments, especially Holy Communion if you are a Catholic, in the state of grace. If we tap into this life source every day, our lives will be filled with the love of the Lord, our spiritual oxygen. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-690-6464. That's 800-690-6464. Again, that's 800-690-6464.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Our phone number is 615-814-2848. 615-814-2848. If you want to weigh in, we're talking in this segment about the disgraced former mayor of Nashville, Tennessee, Megan Barry. She resigned in disgrace 8 years ago. 8 years ago in 2018. She served as mayor for, I think, about 3 years. Well, this gives you an indication of how awful the Democrat Party is. She's now set forward as the champion for the Democrat Party in the new 6th District of Tennessee, which includes a little bit of Nashville, all of Wilson County, which is a suburb just to the east of Nashville, and then about 7 or 8 rural counties east of Wilson County. And so she decided after this redistricting that she would jump into politics again. She ran in the 7th district, I think. When was this? Was it 2024? 2022? She ran and she was just destroyed by then Congressman Mark Green. The 7th district was parts of Davidson County and then all the way up to Montgomery County, and then some rural counties to the west of Nashville. But now she's back. I just want to remind everybody of what a disgrace she was as a mayor. Let's start off with she had this intimate personal relationship with her bodyguard, chief of security, who they were both married to somebody else, and the way people began to find out about it is early in the morning. He would drive the official white SUV that he transported her around to her residence and pick her up, and then they would take a detour by the Nashville cemetery, where the van would be rocking for a period of time. When they were engaged in intimate personal activity. And then they would go to City Hall. Well, people who lived by the cemetery kind of got wise to it. And they blew the whistle on it. And this began, I think it was like a 9-month dance of disaster that ended up in her resignation and pleading guilty to felony charges. Basically, taking taxpayer money for these sojourns internationally, where she and her bodyguard would stay at high-end hotels and spas and do all sorts of, intimate romantic stuff on taxpayer dollars. Okay, so here's the report. I think it's from Phil Williams at News Channel 5 about the early morning rendezvous at the Nashville Cemetery. Clip 7.
And tonight, in another News Channel 5 Investigates exclusive, we've uncovered security video that shows how the two managed to find some quiet time inside Nashville's most famous historic cemetery.
When I've had an extramarital affair.
Ever since the mayor's admission of a 2-year affair with her police bodyguard, Barry has adamantly defended the overtime paid to Sergeant Rob Forrest, insisting that every hour billed to taxpayers was legit.
Was he getting paid at any point when you all were having your personal time?
No.
Yet the rumors persisted.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us,
including on this call-in show on News Channel 5 Plus.
So I know for a fact there were several meetings with this guy in the city cemetery just about every morning.
The city cemetery is the oldest public cemetery in Nashville, and other sources told similar stories about the white SUV used by Forrest to drive the mayor being spotted there in the early morning hours. And when we pulled security video from neighboring businesses, there it was at 7:29 on this day in October. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving, it arrived at 7:22. And the Monday after the long holiday weekend, they were back at 7:21. There was also this Monday in December at 7:16. A week later at 7:36. And as recently as January 8th at 7:34. In the security video, you can clearly see the mayor's SUV coming down the main drive, but instead of stopping here at the parking lot at the main building, they turn right. Then the mayor and her police bodyguard head off to the backside of the cemetery alone. And the security video shows the pair left on one occasion after just 12 minutes. In other cases, it's as long as 24 minutes. So what were they doing there? The mayor's spokesperson says Barry finds it to be a peaceful place to start her day. He added, sometimes she would go for a walk, other times she would sit in the car and either reflect, make calls, catch up on emails, or report issues with vandalism in the cemetery. This photo, he said, shows one such example.
What is relevant is if the taxpayers are paying for an officer that should not be drawing overtime for frivolous things, and I'm going to call them frivolous.
Metro Council member Steve Glover says his only concern is for the taxpayers. In every case documented by News Channel 5 Investigates, Forrest was on the clock. In all but one case, he ended up charging taxpayers later that day for overtime, sometimes late into the night.
Okay, this is just too rich, right? 12 to 24 minutes for a private whatever with her bodyguard in the cemetery. You can't make this up. How Nashville is that? Let's go forward to clip 8 here a little bit. Okay, so this story broke. I remember this because, we launched the Tennessee Star in February 2017. And the story broke in, I think, May of 2017. And so we reported on it, and it was just an ongoing scandal. She wouldn't resign until like March of 2018. Here is her resignation. Clip 8.
Raise your right hand, please.
Tonight, the now former mayor of Nashville smiling for her mugshot.
Guilty or not?
Guilty.
Megan Barry pleading guilty to a felony theft charge, then resigning her office.
Well, my time today as your mayor concludes.
A sudden and dramatic fall for the once popular mayor, now facing multiple investigations after admitting last month to a 2-year affair with her police bodyguard, Robert Forrest. Both are married. Back then, Barry insisting she had done nothing illegal.
And I am embarrassed, and I am sad, and I am so sorry. I know that God will forgive me, but that Nashville doesn't have to.
But then came evidence of nude photos taken on her bodyguard's work phone while on duty. Investigators say the pair took 10 taxpayer-funded trips by themselves, including a conference in Greece, staying an extra 3 nights. In a 2-year period, according to the Nashville Tennessean, Forrest earning more overtime pay than the other 4 officers on her security detail combined. Barry already coming off a difficult year, her 22-year-old son Max dying of an overdose of drugs, including opioids, last July. Talking to NBC just 10 days after his death.
This hole that I have in my heart will never be filled.
Tonight, Nashville's vice mayor has been sworn in as Music City's newest mayor. Meantime, Barry has paid $11,000 in restitution and will serve 3 years probation on the theft charges. A once popular politician here, Megan Barry, leaves office in disgrace.
Yeah, she leaves in disgrace. That was March of 2018. Think about that. The story broke in May of 2017. We reported it. I mean, we had huge coverage on it. And she denied it, and then finally admitted it a month before she resigned. She pled guilty to a felony. That was expunged 3 years later. And now she's going to try to present herself as the voice of reason in the Democrat Party. Now, the bodyguard's wife, she ruined the bodyguard's life. The bodyguard's wife filed for divorce. We have clip 9. Let's just see if we can start that.
The wife of Mayor Megan Barry's former bodyguard has filed for divorce. This comes after the mayor admitted to having an affair with her former head of security, Rob Forrest. News Channel 5's Alexander Cohen is at the 5 Alert Center.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, she ruined her bodyguard's life and the bodyguard's wife. And the family blew up. He resigned in disgrace. And now it's interesting, her husband, Bruce Barry, still married. Kind of weird stuff there, but okay. You see him actually pontificating about politics. He's a faculty member at the Vanderbilt Owen Graduate School of Management. You see him pontificating on Fox 17 occasionally. So now she's going to basically, I don't know, she's begged for forgiveness. That's in the past, she's going to say. Look, I think she's, par for the course with Democrats. When we come back, the politics of this with Tom Pappert. Back after this.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
Ponder this. Imagine for a moment that you are lying on your deathbed. This is a great exercise to do each day in preparation for your very last day on earth. Think about the tests you've ever taken, the job interviews you've had, and the many life celebrations you've been a part of. In all of these cases, preparation makes for successful outcomes. The same is true for dying. We must prepare every day for the day we are to die, in case today might be our last. Make sure you are right with the Lord first and foremost. If you are a Catholic, make sure you are in the state of grace by receiving the sacrament of confession often. Next, make sure you are right with your family, friends, and all those who are in your world. Apologize to those who have offended you and mend relationships that need healing. Make each day a preparation for your last day on earth, because it just may be. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
This is Michael Patrick Leahy. I want to say a few words about our friends at DT McCall's. This is a place to go if you want appliances, furniture, lawn equipment, or gun safes. They have 5 locations in Middle Tennessee, Franklin, Carthage, Lebanon, Cookeville, and Lafayette. and have been a family-owned business for more than 100 years. We bought our refrigerator and dishwasher from DT McCall's, and these appliances have been great. And the delivery and installation service was just fantastic. By the way, free delivery and haul away of your old appliance or furniture within 125 miles of Carthage. And DT McCall's is one of the top 10 dealers of Cub Cadet lawnmowers in the country. And don't forget, you can get your Liberty gun safes there. That's DT McCall's on the web at dtmccalls.com.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. We are joined on our newsmaker line right now by the Dow Prize Award winner for the best local journalism in the country. This was awarded by the National Journalism Center to the Tennessee Star, to Tom Pappert, to yours truly, and our executive editor, Christina Botteri, the one, the only Tom Pappert. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael.
Well, lots of stuff going on in Tennessee. This is our lead story right now at the Tennessee Star. You know, we've been talking with several state representatives who were in the chambers of the Tennessee House of Representatives on, this would be on Thursday, when they basically broke every rule of the House. All 24 of the members of the House broke the rules of the House. They got up and they joined hands and they attempted to prevent some Republicans from voting. They kind of cooperated with all the crazy in the gallery. They threw down noisemakers. Justin Jones went around blasting an air horn. All of that violation of the rules of the House. So people were wondering what they were going to do. Yesterday, Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton dropped the hammer on them. So the leader of the Democrats in Tennessee House of Representatives, 75 Republicans, 24 Democrats. Do you have a copy of the letter that Cam Sexton sent to Karen Camper yesterday?
Well, Michael, it was one heck of a read.
Let's go through it.
I think that the Democrats did not expect any repercussions whatsoever. It seems like they thought they were going to get away with this. And frankly, it would not have been the worst strategy for Republicans. But instead, the letter from Speaker Sexton to Karen Camper essentially begins with the Sexton saying Democrats made this decision with their dangerous and foolish reckless behavior. Dear Leader Camper, due to actions taken by members of the Democratic caucus during the second extraordinary session of the 114th General Assembly aimed at disrupting the democratic and legislative processes and creating disorder on the House floor. And then it goes through the various behaviors they took, and it says members of the Democratic caucus will receive individual letters removing them from all standing committees and subcommittees except where membership is required pursuant to House rules.
Yeah, that House rule, I talked to Speaker Sexton after this yesterday, And he explained that there are at least one Democrat under House Rule 65 must be on the Government Operations Committee. So they'll keep that Democrat there. But all the other standing committees, they are off. And let's go through what they did. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 violations of the Tennessee House of Representative rules. Every single Democrat, all 24 of them, engaged in these. Number 1, interlocking arms in the well of the House, violation of the rules. Number 2, blocking aisles on the House floor. That's they did so that Republicans couldn't vote. That would be, disrupting formal legislative bodies' actions for the state of Tennessee. Number 3, instigating and encouraging disruptions of the legislative process in coordination with paid protesters and attendees in the gallery, including the distribution of earplugs to a member of your caucus. Yeah, that's right. Number 4, the use of prohibited props and noisemakers on the House floor. Number 5, demonstrating a lack of respect towards fellow members seeking recognition to speak on legislation. That's basically, what was the guy's name? Greg Martin from Chattanooga got up to speak. They let the Democrats speak for 47 minutes about why they didn't like this new redistricting. He got up and he started to speak, and then they disrupted his speech. And then 6, flagrant disregard for the permanent rules of order of the House. Tom, you reported on the infamous 2023 movement by the so-called Tennessee Three, Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson, where the three of them went up to the well of the House to disrupt the operations of the House of Representatives, right? You remember that. And the sessions was still, they had not concluded the session. And so they expelled the two Justins, but they did not expel Gloria Johnson by 1 vote, asterisk. That was kind of crazy. But anyways, this behavior, it seems to me, was far worse than that action that led to the expulsion of 2 of the 3 members of the Tennessee Three. Your thoughts on that, Tom Pappert?
Well, it certainly was reminiscent, Michael, and I think that's what everybody watching it was probably saying. It's 2023 all over again. They're going to be called insurrectionists by the end of the day. I think the actual behavior we saw, some of the individual actors, including lawmakers, by the way, of course, State Representative Justin Pearson getting in the face of the Tennessee Highway Patrol officer and cursing at him repeatedly. I think some of the individual behavior we saw was worse. The scale of the protest in 2023 may have been larger, but I think that then as now, Tennessee is showing other Republican states how to have a backbone. Obviously in Texas, great conservative state, but their legislature still has Democrats assigned to key committees and key roles. In Tennessee, after 3 years, essentially, of shenanigans and outbreaks, behaving badly, the Democrats are no longer going to be rewarded. I think this is a big step forward in showing other states how to treat the petulant children we call the other side.
Yeah, isn't it interesting how... all the Democrats now are behaving like petulant children. Why is that, in your view? Because remember now, until this crazy display of disrespect and violation of the rules of the House, about half of the 24 would not engage in this type of activity. But in this case, what we've got going on is all 24 of the Democrats in the House broke the rules of the House. And this, for the first time in the Tennessee State Senate, the 6 members there, the Senate's 27R 6D, the 6 Democrats in the state Senate all broke the rules of the state Senate. Why, in your opinion, Tom Pappert, have the previously not insane Democrats gone insane?
Well, I think they've lost the argument, Michael. They've been essentially holding their party back and saying, no, we don't just need to be the party of foaming at the mouth and trying to attack the other side. We can present some sort of alternative to the Republican Party. We don't just have to be hatred of President Trump and everything he stands for. Well, I think that those Democrats are essentially long gone now. There is no alternative being presented except we really hate Republicans. We really, really hate Donald Trump, and we're going to oppose anybody who supports those two things at all levels. And so essentially you've seen these Tennessee lawmakers, I think they've lost hope. I think they've lost hope in the Democratic Party to turn around the ship, and so they've decided to succumb to this anger and this base instinct to yell and scream and hop up on tables.
Yeah. What do you think this is going to foretell for the behavior of Democrats in the next session? Because this session is come and gone. Now, there'll be elections for the State House and State Senate. Every one of the 99 State House seats are up. Half of the 33 State Senate seats are up. I don't think there'll be that much difference. Maybe a couple Democrats might lose. But what can the Democrats expect to get from the Tennessee General Assembly next year?
Well, Michael, I was thinking about this last night. There is absolutely no reason why even the most polite a resolution to honor somebody's grandma who worked very hard, but she's a Democrat. There's no reason for Republicans to give that to them now. There is no reason for Republicans to give Democrats anything. And in fact, I think the Democratic Party in the next session, they're probably going to continue this behavior because they're being left out in the cold. And at the end of the day, I think what you're going to see probably in 2028, it's a little late this year, is hopefully, if we are lucky, some moderate Democrats in Tennessee will start to rise to the surface and say, look, these guys don't have committees. They've been wasting their seats for years now. Elect me, and I'll at least work with the other side to get something done. That would be the Democrats' best chance. Whether they're smart enough to take it, I don't know.
The problem that you have, Tom, is you think with common sense, right? I don't think they have any common sense. I don't think there's any elected Democrat official that has any common sense whatsoever. When we stick around, Tom, if you don't mind, when we come back, I'd like your analysis of the Democrats jumping into these new districts, the 9th district and the 6th. Megan Barry. Let's start with Megan Barry. Disgraced, resigned mayor of Nashville, 8 years after her huge humiliation and conviction and pleading guilty to felony counts. She's running again for Congress in the 6th district. Back with Tom Pappert after this.
Folks, this is Crime Carmichael, CEO of Solti. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Solti. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Solti for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Solti. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Fredericks Radio Network.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Well, Tom Pappert, the Democrats, I guess we've got 3 lawsuits now. We've had 2 in federal court, 1 in state court, where the Democrats and their various allies are trying to get these new districts thrown out. Tom, I don't think any of these 3 are going to have any success. Your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think so, Michael. I think that Tennessee lawmakers, between the 2021 legislation they passed to require any constitutional challenge go before a 3-judge panel in state courts, and behind some of the good arguments that are already being put forward by the Tennessee Attorney General on these federal lawsuits, I just don't think that you're going to see anything happen in time. In fact, the 3rd federal lawsuit filed by the ACLU, I saw yesterday they had assigned the first date. The first conferencing meeting is not until after the primary in August. So I think that shows exactly how seriously Judge Waverly Crenshaw is taking the lawsuit.
Yeah. I think that's a very good point. And is that who's reviewing it?
That is who is reviewing the ACLU lawsuit versus Tennessee. Remember, there's an NAACP lawsuit against Tennessee.
That's the one in the state court, and then they've got the a lot of the. Interestingly enough, this is interesting that we've got this is kind of crazy, right? We've got the Democrats plaintiffs in federal court, and then many of them are actually just filed to run for Congress. That kind of belies their argument, wouldn't you say?
It does, and only one of them, Steve Cohen, has sort of acknowledged this. He wrote in a declaration that he was urging the court to rule to issue a preliminary injunction by Friday, because Friday is the new deadline imposed upon Cohen and the other Democrats to decide if they're going to run in the newly redrawn districts inside another district, or whether they're going to simply decide not to run at all. And I thought, well, Cohen may actually be the most clever of all these Democrats to ask the court to push for a Friday preliminary ruling, simply so he will be protected. I don't think Justin Pearson issued a similar declaration in that court case. Instead, he issued a 90-second commercial where he called us all racist for supporting redistricting.
So the 6th district now, redesigned a little bit, it's still got Davidson County, all of Wilson County, currently represented by John Rose, who's running for governor. Megan Barry, the disgraced former mayor of Nashville, filed papers to run in that district. What's she thinking, Tom?
Michael, I think and this is my personal opinion, I think Megan Barry is thinking that this sounds like a pretty good part-time job for the next few months. If you remember when she ran in 2024 against Andy Ogles, she
didn't run. She didn't run against Andy Ogles. She ran against Mark Green in the 7th.
My apologies.
That's
right. But when she ran that election, it essentially was she didn't do much. She didn't do much campaigning. There wasn't much social media. And in fact, when I reviewed her social media prior to her recent announcement, the only post she had on, I think it was Facebook, that had more than 10 likes was calling the Tennessee redistricting effort racist. So perhaps, Michael, that is what led to this. Perhaps she saw a little bit of traction when she got out there and essentially used the old routine yet again and decided maybe this is her moment to get a little bit of spotlight. But I don't think there is a possibility of somebody as far left as Megan Barry winning that district. I think that it's going to go to, in all likelihood, Johnny Garrett, possibly Van Hillary, and she will be what they call in professional wrestling, a heel.
Yeah. So, okay, let's take a look at the 9th district. Now, Justin Pearson, who is basically trying to recreate Stokely Carmichael from the 1970s, that guy, and he's engaged in all sorts of, ridiculous confrontational activity. He would have been favored in the old 9th to beat Steve Cohen, the cranky old white guy who's represented Memphis since 2006. But now in this new district, apparently he's filed papers to run. But wait, he will not be anointed as a Democrat nominee. London Lamar, a state senator from Memphis, is jumping in as well. What do you make of that?
Michael, it's very interesting because I think after the district is redrawn, everybody is aware neither of these people are very likely to win. But it almost says that there is even more district than we know within the Tennessee Democratic Party. Why have two people run for the same seat that are both supposed to be essentially these up-and-coming Democrat voices that are going to lead the party into the 2020s and 2030s? It doesn't make sense unless, of course, there is a bunch of drama between State Representative Justin Pearson and his Democratic colleagues in the House, and perhaps they don't think that he alone should get the massive PR bonus that running in Tennessee's 9th district for the next few months is going to generate.
Yeah, it's all performative, and I think pretty much everybody, all the Democrats, from what I hear, in the state legislature can't stand Justin Pearson. But it doesn't matter. They're jealous of him, right? Because he's not a real legislator. He's a performer. And apparently he's performing a role from a 1970s movie, right? And he's getting all sorts of coverage from the typical, left-wing media guys. He's raised $1 million. He's got a big security team around him. He drives around in big SUVs. They're jealous of that. That's really what the Democrat Party in Tennessee has descended to. Your thoughts, Tom Pappert?
I think that's right, Michael. I think it's a lot of jealousy, but I also have heard that they dislike Justin Pearson because he's seen as sort of a fake, a phony. He acts like this in a 1970s movie character for social media and for the television cameras, but behind closed doors, he is a different person. And I think that on top of everything else you described, that must be very difficult for Democrats to deal with as they look for authenticity in this new era.
Yeah, kind of crazy. All right, Tom Pappert, thanks for joining us. Up next, we'll be joined by Judson Phillips, founder of Tea Party Nation, former assistant district attorney general here in the state of Tennessee, and a political savant. Back after this.
Ponder this. We intake oxygen every time we breathe, and breathing is how we stay alive. When God first created man, he breathed life into him. Our Lord also breathed spiritual life into his apostles and filled them with the Holy Spirit at the first Pentecost. Oxygen is a source of life both physically and spiritually. It's the same with fire. Oxygen is needed in order to keep a fire burning, which begs the question, are you on fire for the Lord, or has your spiritual oxygen been extinguished? To answer this, we must go to the source. The source of our spiritual oxygen is the Lord himself. Without him, there is no life within us. Those are his words, not mine. We are called to tap into this life source by baptism, daily prayer, and receiving the sacraments, especially Holy Communion if you are a Catholic, in the state of grace. If we tap into this life source every day, our lives will be filled with the love of the Lord, our spiritual oxygen. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Hey parents, plan an unforgettable summer. Send your kids to Rapid Ann Baptist Camp in Rochelle, Virginia. 1 week of nonstop fun and life-changing truth. Amazing preachers, friendly counselors, exciting activities. Ride an alpine coaster and zip line, a 250-foot water slide, and that's just the beginning. Junior camps for ages 7 to 12, teen camps for 13 to 18, 2-day Pee-wee camp with mom and dad for ages 4 to 8, and a brand new day camp option. Sign up today at camprapidan.com. That's camprapidan.com. Rapid Ann Baptist Camp, where faith and fun collide.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio Show.
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB 107.7 Barnaire, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJF.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. The South Carolina Supreme Court has overturned the murder convictions and life sentence for Alex Murdaugh and the death of his wife and son. The High Court found a court clerk influenced the trial by suggesting to jurors that Murdaugh might lie while testifying in his own defense. A new trial has been ordered. You might think that the Iran war would top the agenda for President Trump's talks with China's Xi Jinping in Beijing, but Mr. Trump says that's not the case.
We have a lot of things to discuss. I wouldn't say Iran is one of them, to be honest with you, because we have Iran very much under control. We're either going to make a deal or they're going to be decimated. So one way or the other, we win.
Mr. Trump is now in Beijing along with a group of U.S. tech, industry, and financial leaders. The Missouri Supreme Court handing Republicans a redistricting win. The court has rejected a Democrat challenge to a new GOP-friendly congressional map. And while Republicans have enjoyed a good deal of success in redistricting, a GOP redistricting effort in South Carolina has failed. An initial vote in the state Senate fell short.
President Donald Trump had urged South Carolina to redraw its U.S. House map ahead of the November elections. The state House had previously voted in favor of letting lawmakers return after the regular session ends this week to consider redistricting. But the Senate also had to approve taking up redistricting. The 29-17 vote failed with just 2 votes short of the 2/3 needed. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
A measure of inflation before it hits consumers' pocketbooks rocketed higher last month. Cost of energy led the way as the producer price index measure of wholesale prices rose 1.4% from March to April. Prices 6% higher than a year ago. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 234 points, while the Nasdaq trading 168 points higher. More on these stories, townhall.com.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Ukrainian drone pilots turn a military exercise in Sweden into a crucial warning for NATO. We got details from correspondent Ben Thomas.
That's the sound of a small drone being operated by a Ukrainian pilot, playing the role of the enemy during a NATO exercise in Gotland, Sweden.
If you have Gotland, you're able to control the Baltic Sea.
Sweden is one of NATO's newest members, and Colonel Andreas Gustafsson says of the non-NATO member Ukrainians,
they are miles ahead of us when it comes to drone warfare, so we really appreciate them coming here to share their experiences with us, and we have a lot to learn from them.
And in this exercise, the Ukrainian drone forces destroyed Sweden's troops. I'm Ben Thomas.
Find news and analysis online at townhall.com. Olivia and Liam top the 2025 list of the most popular baby names.
The list compiled by the Social Security Administration lists Charlotte in second place among girls, ending Emma's 6-year run in that spot. Ava slipped out of the top 10, replaced by Ileana. On the boys' side, the top 4 names, Liam, Noah, Oliver, and Theodore, held steady. Kasai had the biggest surge in popularity for boys, while Clarity with a K led for girls. The U.S. saw 3.6 million births in 2025, slightly down from the year before. Keith Peters reporting.
Britain's Princess Catherine set to make her first overseas trip since announcing that her cancer was in remission. Kate will be visiting Italy to spotlight her focus on early childhood education during a 2-day tour, and that tour getting underway today. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, former assistant district attorney for Shelby County, Tennessee, and Williamson County, Tennessee, founder of Tea Party Nation, a very good friend, accomplished attorney and entrepreneur, the one, the only Judson Phillips. Welcome, Judson.
Hey, Mike. As always, it's good to be back.
And as always,
it's a Wednesday, so something's happening.
I think there's a rule. 10 minutes before you come on, a news story breaks.
A big news story breaks.
Big news. And this is kind of interesting, and it is right up your alley. This broke, and I'll read the Just the News story on this by John Solomon's group. It is fascinating what happened. The headline, the breaking story, the South Carolina Supreme Court just tossed Alex Murdaugh's double murder conviction and has ordered a new trial. What's interesting about this, in a unanimous opinion, the court ruled that Colleton County Clerk of Court Rebecca Hill tampered with the jury during Murdaugh's 2023 trial, which prejudiced the jurors toward a guilty verdict before they began deliberating. Now, let's talk about this being a unanimous verdict. That's pretty powerful, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that's just an announcement right there that they took. All of them believed that what the defense said was not only true, but this will sound kind of goofy, but really true, that that there was no really gray area in this, that they looked at it and said, you know, these guys are spot on with their arguments. And, that's kind of a slap down to the prosecution. Well, actually, the county government, really, because the clerk is not controlled by the prosecution. But, one of the things that's really important in a criminal trial is you can't have people getting messages to juries. That's why in a lot of high-profile cases, you'll have a jury sequestered, where they can't have access to the media. They can't, have random people coming up and talking to them about a case. You end up with John Doe's DUI down the road. Nobody cares other than your neighbor might ask, "Hey, Fred, what you doing this week?" "Well, I'm on jury duty." That would probably be the extent of it. But in a high-profile case like this, they've got to be very concerned, and that's why I can't remember if this jury was sequestered or not. Would not have shocked me given the high-profile nature of the case. But in every case, when you have jurors who are out and about when the trial's going on, they're always guarded by some court personnel, because this is the kind of scenario you want to prevent. Some rogue actor from walking up to somebody and saying, "Oh, hey, convict the guy," and influencing the jury.
Well, just for those people who are saying, Alex Murdaugh, now, what's the story with him? This guy was a very successful attorney. His family had he kind of inherited, like, his father's and grandfather's law firm. And they kind of ran Colleton County, I think it was Colleton County, in South Carolina for like a century. They had a big house. He was married, had 2 kids, and he was he's been convicted of basically stealing money in federal court, right? And he's got a 40-year sentence for that.
Yeah, and that was a completely separate issue. Yeah, he was also a big-time Democrat donor. It's just probably worth mentioning. Well, this is a primarily political show, so it's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
But, the other thing is when courts review cases like this, they look for things that should not have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say look at cases like this, I'm talking about criminal cases. Because so much of what goes on is driven by the prosecution. And the prosecution, in most cases, they do have to thread a bit of a needle, because you want to throw in enough evidence to convict the person, but sometimes there's other things you want to throw in there for reasons, just basically to get the jury not to like a guy. But if you throw too much of it in, a appeals court can say, nah, you shouldn't have done that. And that's what happened here, because we talk about the clerk who interfered, but also there was the court also ruled that the district attorney's office should not have been allowed to introduce evidence of his financial crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And in most criminal cases, you cannot introduce evidence of other crimes. That's called propensity evidence. And basically,
he's a bad guy. He's done a lot of other bad stuff.
So he must have done this.
He must have done this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They can't do that.
Yeah, propensity evidence is not allowed. Now, evidence of other crimes can be admitted for other purposes, to show a common scheme, a motive, or if someone is testifying, evidence of other crimes can be used to impeach their credibility. You tell the jury, well, this guy's a thief. He's saying this now, but he's a thief. Would you believe a thief? Well, the test under the rules of evidence is what they call the probative value of the evidence must outweigh its prejudicial effect. And when you're talking about a major murder case like this, it's hard to see any way to get that in at all. And obviously the South Carolina Supreme Court agreed and slapped
unanimously.
Yeah.
So let me read from Just the News. Colleton County Clerk of Court Rebecca Hill, who was an elected official tasked with managing the trial and overseeing the jury, made comments to the jurors that the justices deemed inappropriate. These comments included stating that the jurors shouldn't be, quote, be fooled, end quote, by evidence Murdaugh's attorney presented, to watch Murdaugh's actions and movements closely before he took the stand, and that the deliberation shouldn't take long. The ruling by the South Carolina State Supreme Court called Clerk of the Court Rebecca Hill's comments, quote, breathtaking and disgraceful, end quote, as they, quote, essentially implored the jurors to find him guilty, end quote. As an official who voters elected into the position, Hill's comments were especially damaging, the justice ruled. Murdaugh was convicted in March 2023 of murdering his wife Maggie and son Paul at the family's Colleton County property in June of 2021. The jury took 45 minutes to reach a guilty verdict.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was fast. Now that this has happened, I know the prosecution probably has not wanted to do anything to the. I think she's a former clerk now. I don't think she's in office anymore.
Yeah, will there be sanctions against her?
I'm thinking an indictment.
Really? Yeah.
Because if I was a prosecutor and I lost that big a case, I wouldn't have wanted to indict her on the front end because that would validate everything that the defense was saying. But now that the Supreme Court has come down and basically agreed with everything the defense said, I mean, I would indict her. Now, looking forward, legally, the term that was used in this case is a remand, which means it's sent back to the trial court to try it again. But I was right before we came on, this story broke, so I read very quickly a couple of articles about it. I did not have time to find the opinion and read it. But one other thing in there was a comment in the decision, apparently, about the sufficiency of the evidence. Now, ordinarily, if you've got sufficiency of the evidence in plain non-lawyer English means, is there actually enough evidence there to convict somebody of a crime? And appellate judges will look at that. And if they deem the evidence to be insufficient, then they dismiss the case. But in this case, they didn't dismiss it, they remanded it, but there is an observation about how weak at least the direct evidence is.
So they may cut a deal with him. He's in jail for 40 years on federal financial charges. By the way, the former county clerk in this case, Rebecca Hill, had pleaded guilty back in December of 2025 to criminal charges for showing sealed court exhibits to a photographer and lying about it in court. The court said that if investigators had found she had tampered with the jury, she's got 3 years probation. But if she tampered with the jury, it would have been worse. She's going to be in trouble.
She is going to be in trouble.
When we come back, we'll go from South Carolina to China.
To China.
Where Donald Trump is. Back with Judson Phillips after this.
Ponder this. Imagine for a moment that you are lying on your deathbed. This is a great exercise to do each day in preparation for your very last day on earth. Think about the tests you've ever taken, the job interviews you've had, and the many life celebrations you've been a part of. In all of these cases, preparation makes for successful outcomes. The same is true for dying. We must prepare every day for the day we are to die, in case today might be our last. Make sure you are right with the Lord first and foremost. If you are a Catholic, make sure you are in the state of grace by receiving the sacrament of confession often. Next, make sure you are right with your family, friends, and all those who are in your world. Apologize to those who have offended you and mend relationships that need healing. Make each day a preparation for your last day on earth, because it just may be. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
On Godzilla Wins, winning fever is spreading fast.
Had a winner last night. I just can't shake it.
The rash of winning picks is running rampant with game analysis that's nothing to sneeze at. Odds are, you take 2 Godzilla Wins best bets, parlayed with an over-under, you'll come out feeling like a winner. Godzilla Wins. Listen and watch Saturday mornings, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, on the stations and platforms of the John Frederick Media Network and JFMN.TV. The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
This show knows things before anybody else is transmitting it. I said 5 minutes after we make a deal, the price of crude oil is going to go down $20 a barrel. Well, it went down $20 a barrel today. It did. 15 days from now, and if it looks like we have a good deal, it'll go down another $25 a barrel.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Frederick Media Network.
And that's a good sign for us, obviously, and for the free world.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. TheVirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. TheVirginiaStar.com. TheVirginiaStar.com.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Our guest, former Assistant District Attorney in Williamson County and Shelby County here in Tennessee, the one, the only Judson Phillips. Judson, so here is something very, very interesting to me. I think anybody out there who wants to should just mark 9:50 a.m. Central Time, 10:50 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday.
Set an alarm.
Because news will break. I mean, this is like the fourth consecutive Wednesday.
Something's happened.
Something's happened like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before you come on air.
Yeah. It's just like, be here because you'll want to know it first.
Yeah. And the other great news about Judson Phillips. So you just heard, our listeners just heard the outstanding legal analysis of the state Supreme Court in South Carolina's overturning the conviction of Alex Murdaugh. You won't get anywhere else. So stick around. So Wednesdays at 10 o'clock, whatever, just tune in at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern, because something will break.
Yeah. Whatever you're doing, this is more important.
All across the John Fredericks Media Network. And of course, Judson, people can watch us on X. Go to Michael P. Leahy. We're 3 hours a day, live and in living color. Also, we're on Rumble. We're on YouTube. We're on Roku TV. We're on Apple TV. We're on Firestick TV. There's got to be something else we're on. I don't know. There's just so many. Well, there's also some breaking news that everybody else has covered. But earlier this morning, our time, Donald J. Trump landed in China. And big welcome. And apparently 15 CEOs from America joined him. Some of them were with him on Air Force One. Some of them, I think, weren't. But Elon Musk was with him. Tim Cook, the guy from NVIDIA, was there, I think.
Yes.
Coming down. And, the pageantry of this. Oh, some of this is pageantry, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Very clearly sending a message to China. And, I'll give Donald Trump a lot of credit. He understands showmanship. And
oh, my goodness.
And he, he's walking down the stairs. He's got some of the most powerful men in the world from the business side with him, walking down those stairs, walking down the red carpet with him. And, of course, as far as I know, Xi Jinping was not there to welcome him.
It was a VP.
It was one of the high-level functionaries.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't like they snubbed him and just nobody showed up.
That wouldn't be a snub. I mean, that would be typical. Although sometimes, right, when King Charles III arrived in the United States, there was Trump there to welcome him.
When Vladimir Putin arrived in the United States, Trump was there to greet him.
Yeah, exactly. So when Xi comes to the United States in September, the fall, he will be welcomed by J.D. Vance.
Probably
not
so.
by Donald J. Trump. But the pageantry was something.
Yeah, definitely spectacular, definitely sending a message. But the message is what concerns me. Because before leaving, Donald Trump said that I want China to invest all this money in the United States. Well, who here thinks that's a really good idea? Because when China invests money, it comes with a lot of strings, and they want their people buried into the system. And when you start getting into things like tech, because you got Tim Cook, and I'm going blank on the guy from NVIDIA, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
There's some others, but China is. If they're known for nothing else, they're known for their massive IP theft, intellectual property.
Oh, yeah.
They steal literally everything. A lot of their military, like, for example, their top-of-the-line fighter, looks like it's a copy of our F-35. And so they steal all of our IP, and for them it's a great system because they don't have to sink that kind of money into research and development. They'll let us do it and then just steal it from us.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. But going back to the point, do we really want China investing billions or trillions in the United States, especially with the strings that would come? And then, of course, the other thing President Trump has talked about is more visas for Chinese students. It's like
more spies.
Yeah, well, more spies, more potential terrorists, because don't forget there have been a number of Chinese nationals who have been caught in the United States having imported, we call them biological weapons, but essentially spores and other things that are very communicable, that would be devastating to plants, to crops, even to wildlife, or domestic herds, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So do we really want more of this? The answer is no. I saw a statistic somewhere that from 2021 to 2025, something like 95% of the jobs in America were filled by foreign-born people.
Mm-hmm.
The statistic was insane. And it's like, okay, what about Americans? Because, Donald Trump, you ran on the forgotten American. That was the theme of the speech, his first inaugural speech, the forgotten American. Well, these are the people that put you in office, and these are the people, particularly like the young men who just graduated from college or about to graduate from college, or even in their early 20s, who are trying to find those jobs. And I'm not talking about the clowns who graduated with gender studies degrees, but I'm talking about the people who graduated with computer science degrees, tech degrees, engineering degrees.
General Motors, by the way, is just laying off 600 IT employees.
Yeah, and guess what they're going to replace them with? H-1B visas, or they're just going to ship all of that over to India.
Bingo.
And this is the kind of thing that even though they are doing it, it will come back to bite the Republicans if they are not careful.
Exactly right. Now, you saw this. The Democrat mayor of Arcadia, California.
Shocker.
I know this is shock. She had a boyfriend, former fiance now, who helped her in a business and helped her campaign to become mayor. The business was basically to set up a website that promoted Chinese Communist Party propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And she reported back to her bosses there. And this was all found out just recently. The boyfriend has been convicted. And
was his name Eric Swalwell?
Yeah, I mean, you see this stuff and you say, yeah, okay, so this is what's going on with the Chinese. They want to spy.
Mm-hmm.
Take away, put forward their views of the world and get their propaganda out there. Well, the mayor resigned. She was a Chinese spy.
Mm-hmm.
And
she'll be convicted.
Prison. She's going to prison. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's entering a plea, so there's no question she's going to prison. But if you look at this historically, it's a disturbing trend. You've got the mayor, this mayor of Arcadia, California, Chinese spy.
Mm-hmm.
Former Senator Dianne Feinstein
had a Chinese spy as her driver for 30 years.
Eric Swalwell, of course, with the great Fang scandal. I believe Gavin Newsom had someone on his staff who was a Chinese spy. Kathy Hochul of New York had someone in her orbit who was a Chinese spy.
This would fit in the category of duh.
Yeah,
they're spying on us, and they're working with the Democrats.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're working with the Democrats.
Right.
And let's tie this into something else, something that I'm just appalled that the Republicans aren't doing more with, and that is the Act Blue scandal.
Mm-hmm.
Because millions upon millions of dollars were funneled into the Democrat fundraising platform called Act Blue. And Republicans have released reports in Congress showing that Act Blue did not even take the minimal steps necessary to prevent foreign donations from coming in.
As if they just wanted to get those foreign donations.
Yeah, I wonder why. Well, China's not stupid. If you have an enemy that's willing to sell themselves to you, like, why aren't you going to pay for them?
Mm-hmm.
And so, somebody should be doing a deep dive into where this money came from, because James O'Keefe went out maybe a year ago and went and interviewed people, and mostly they were senior citizens. And he goes, "Ma'am, did you know you gave $10,000 to Democrats through Act Blue?" And this one person, I remember the video.
Yeah,
she goes, I'm on Social Security. I can barely afford food. I didn't give political.
That was
contributions."
fraudulent. I'm shocked. Hey, when we come back, I want to stick on China for a bit. What is it that Trump wants to accomplish? What is it that Xi wants to accomplish? And what will happen? Back with Judson Phillips after this. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
The Trump administration has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system, but there's only so much the government can do. And if we really want to make America healthy again, that starts at home, and that's where the Wellness Company comes in. The Wellness Company allows you to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits, which contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. The Wellness Company also offers a variety of health products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more, helping you stay healthy and live a longer, better, healthier life. Make America healthy again. That starts at home. So do your part and protect the health of you and your family. All you have to do is go to twc.health/Godzilla today and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10%. That's twc.health/Godzilla.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Salty. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Salty almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
This is Michael Patrick Leahy. I want to say a few words about our friends at DT McCall's. This is the place to go if you want appliances, furniture, lawn equipment, or gun safes. They have 5 locations in Middle Tennessee, Franklin, Carthage, Lebanon, Cookeville, and Lafayette, and have been a family-owned business for more than 100 years. We bought our refrigerator and dishwasher from DT McCall's, and these appliances have been great. And the delivery and installation service was just fantastic. By the way, free delivery and haul away of your old appliance or furniture within 125 miles of Carthage. And DT McCall's is one of the top 10 dealers of Cub Cadet lawnmowers in the country. And don't forget, you can get your Liberty gun safes there. That's DT McCall's on the web at dtmccalls.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Judson Phillips here. We're talking about President Trump's visit to China. We want to see what Donald Trump wants to accomplish and what President Xi, or whatever you call him, Dictator Xi of China. What's he, the supreme leader? What do we call him?
I don't know what his official title is, but man in charge.
The big guy, the man in charge. Okay. By the way, in hour 3, this is like breaking news here. We're going to actually be talking with 47. I think he's like in a helicopter over there, flying over Beijing. And then, if all goes well, I think he might do a little Star Trek transporting here for us. So
outstanding.
I think in the second part of hour 3, Trump will stay in Beijing, but Sean Farash will transport. He's with them right now. They had 15 CEOs in Sean Farash. Asterisk. The best Trump impersonator in the world. All right, let's go to seriously now. Tell me, let's talk about Xi. What does they will in about 6 hours convene again, and they'll spend probably 12 hours together. What does Xi want to accomplish?
Well, Xi clearly wants more favorable trade with the United States, and he's all for sending money to the United States if he can attach all those strings that we talked about in the last segment.
Don't they like own a whole bunch of farmland in America now?
And they would love to own more. But
don't they own like a meat processing company, Smithfield?
Yeah,
I think?
Yeah. They own more than they should.
Yeah.
The other thing he's going to try and get Trump to do is back down in Iran, because
you think he's going to try to do that?
Yeah, I think he's going to try.
Tell me why.
Because the Strait of Hormuz situation is hurting us, but it's hurting China too. Iran is sending oil over land, but that's
hard to do.
It's hard to do, and you can only send a
fraction.
How
do they send it over land?
Trucks.
No.
Yeah, trucks, and I think
I've learned something.
There may be a pipeline or two, but
there's not much in the way of pipelines.
Yeah, but it's nothing near the volume of what you get with a super tanker.
Oh yeah.
Well, with the strait being closed, guess what? They only have so much gasoline and fuel oils available. And now the nice thing about it is, if we kept a lock on fuel going to China, you could forget about a Taiwan invasion because they wouldn't have the fuel to do it. Interesting thing that popped up a little while back, the United States and Malaysia signed a big deal, strategic defense partnership,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera. And a lot of people didn't even pick that one up. It wasn't major news, but the reason it's so significant is this body of water called the Straits of Malacca.
Mm-hmm.
And
now where's that?
That's in Southeast Asia.
Got it.
And an incredible amount of the traffic. There's only so many routes you can go to China, and the Strait of Malacca is the most popular. It goes by Singapore and Malaysia. It's a choke point. It can be very easily shut down, and if we shut that down, China would basically grind to a halt without fuel oil. They have a little bit that they can produce, but they are a huge net importer. And again, if we do something like that, again, kiss the Taiwan invasion goodbye, because it physically can't happen because they won't have the fuel for their planes, they won't have fuel for their ships, won't have fuel for their tanks. So but going back to what we're talking about, I think China is probably hurting more on the fuel situation than we are.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have plenty of domestic supply. On that side, what we see here is the price is up. American oil producers are happy because they're making a lot of money on it, and that's the impact of it. There's plenty available at a higher price in America.
Yes, but part of the problem is what we refine for gasoline is not necessarily what we produce in America. And so you've got that mismatch, and like a lot of what we get comes from the North Sea. Okay, that's not really impacted. A lot of what we get does, the kind of gas or the kind of oil we need for gasoline does come from Iran, and that's a problem. And one of the things, this is something I'll fault President Trump on. We have the war. We're on about 70 days of it right now, and we're sort of stuck right now. We're not doing anything. Gas prices are up. President Trump, I think, never really made the good justification to the American people why we're doing this. And the answer's simple. Iran is really close to nukes, and they want to drop a nuke on us.
Right.
So that's something that everybody but a Democrat would agree on is a bad thing. But now he stopped the combat action, trying to, I guess, strangle Iran.
That's the plan, I think. Yeah.
But he's going to have to do something fairly quickly because we're in May right now. We're middle of May.
Midterms are headed our way.
Our way. And, fortunately, I'm sure we'll get into this in the next segment, the campaign map now favors Republicans much more than it did even a few weeks ago.
And by the way, there's a breaking story related to that we'll hit in our next segment.
Perfect.
We want to go on China.
But
I was
going to say the fuel prices, if gas is still $5 a gallon come November,
that's not going to be good.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of swing voters who are going to be asking themselves, why am I paying this? What is the, and again, President Trump has not made that case. If he came out and made a national address that, we're stopping Iran from getting nukes because they were going to use it on us. Yes, but you got to get out there and get the American people on board.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of it is, he sort of made that case, but the regime media is, obscuring it in a significant way.
Well, he needs to do an address to the nation, and he's very good at bypassing the regime media, but I'm not seeing a lot of that, and I don't think the American people are.
What do you think Trump wants to accomplish over there in China?
I think he wants trade, because Trump wants a big deal. Let's go back to that.
This guy, his whole life, he thinks about making a deal.
He is a deal maker.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, going back to Iran for just a second, one of the big problems I think we've got with Iran right now is I think Donald Trump has deal fever.
Deal fever.
He is.
Okay, so Democrats have Trump derangement syndrome, and Trump, you think, has deal fever.
I think he's got deal fever on this.
But hold it. Isn't his entire life deal fever?
Not like this. If you read his books, there's a lot of deals he's walked away from.
Yeah.
But this one, he needs to walk away, and we need to start bombing again. But
in Iran.
Yeah. But the problem here is what I think is going on, and this is just me guessing from a few thousand miles away. Donald Trump really wants that Nobel Peace Prize.
You think so?
Yeah, he does. But, somebody needs to tell Donald Trump, I don't care if you solve every conflict in the world, if we have world peace for the first time in the history of mankind, the Eurotrash socialists will not give you the Nobel Peace Prize.
Never.
You solve Ukraine, Russia, they'll give it to Zelensky.
Yeah.
You solve Iran, they'll give it to the Iranian Guards.
They'll give it to the Gayatollah.
Yeah, but they're not going to give it to you. And so it's like, and I
think that's accurate. There's something suicidally wrong with Western European leaders.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about autos. The Chinese apparently have really built up an electric vehicle capability. And I listened to Bill Hemmer today talking about how nice and shiny all their cars are in Beijing. And he said about half of them are electric vehicles. Now, they want to come into the U.S. market and underprice everything.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong if Chinese electric vehicles were in the United States of America and, lots of Americans were driving cars that were controlled by some, geeky computer guy out of China? What could go wrong with that?
We joke about that. What could go wrong with your Chinese car? Well, China has a history of importing electronics to the United States that have spyware and malware hardwired into them. And, we found stuff in DOD and other critical infrastructure. And so, there's a huge problem with this. China, I'll give them credit if everything that they're saying is true. Their BYD car is apparently functional. They've apparently found a way to charge it very quickly, as opposed to taking
forever, all night, and ruin your electric bill.
Yeah. So apparently you can do it, and you can get your car charged, get it done quickly, and not that expensively. But again, we're talking about, do we really want to allow Chinese automobiles control?
There's a national security argument against it, big time. And I think, look, the head of Ford, the head of GM, they will go crazy.
The head of Tesla.
The head of Tesla will go crazy if the Chinese are. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's over there? Elon.
Yeah. And
I don't think he's going to let Chinese electric vehicles in the U.S.
No, but if God forbid we get another Democrat president, they will.
We're doing foreign policy. I got one more thing too. It's not related to China. Asked directly. Barack Obama's gone up to Canada to talk about world issues with the commie lefty prime minister there, Mark Carney. What is that about? What is that about?
That is about him, A, trying to be relevant, but B, they're still trying to coordinate a worldwide effort against the American government.
Yeah.
And, I would not be we saw in the news today, the FBI, when they closed out the Arctic Frost case, instead of doing what they normally do, which is basically you're done with it, get rid of the evidence, memos were released that showed that FBI agents were plotting to keep everything in place until 2030.
I saw that.
Until after Donald Trump is out of office, so they could prosecute him again.
That's why we got to win 2028.
Yeah,
because if we don't, they're gonna do it all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we lose, I'm going to preach to the choir here. If we lose 2028, they're going to pack the Supreme Court.
All true. Hey, when we come back, I got another breaking news story on politics.
Outstanding.
Back after this.
All right, folks, I need you to do something right now. Go to johnfredericksradio.com and take our brand new 2028 Republican presidential straw poll. Who do you want leading the ticket? Don't let the elites decide. Make your voice heard. While you're there, weigh in on two huge issues: eminent domain reform and President Trump's tariff policies. Are they protecting American workers or hurting growth? This is your movement, your vote, your voice, your choice. Go to johnfredericksradio.com right now and take the poll.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's gonna ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We are joined again. More breaking news. I don't know what it is.
I'm a breaking news magnet.
You are a breaking news magnet. So, Judson, we're talking about redistricting. And then just as we were about to talk about it and all the things going on here in Tennessee, this story just broke in Mississippi. Kind of an odd one. Governor Tate Reeves, he's a Republican, calls off Mississippi's special session on judicial redistricting. He said he's working with the Trump White House on redrawing congressional districts to try to oust Democrat Representative Benny Thompson, but said the process is complicated and demurred on timing. Okay, so the special session was originally called because I think it was an Obama-appointed judge, Sherian Acock, found that the Mississippi Supreme Court districts violated the Federal Voting Rights Act by diluting black voting power. But after the Calais decision of the Supreme Court, the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court overturned that ruling. And so now he's saying oh, we don't have a reason for a special session. I don't understand that. Why the Calais decision was relevant to redrawing congressional districts. Why doesn't he just call the special session for that?
I don't understand it. Tennessee just showed how it can be done. 3 days, done. So I don't understand it. I did, during the break, I did take a quick look at least one news story that said, there was concern that this Obama-appointed judge is going to issue some other crazy orders and the litigation's not done.
Yeah.
And, Tate Reeves is generally, I give him decent marks as a governor.
Decent.
He zeroed out Mississippi's state income tax, which is a good thing. But, more of these guys need to take a lead from Trump, and that is be aggressive. Cameron Sexton, Bill Lee, who I didn't think had it in him.
He was great.
Bill Lee was great. Cameron Sexton was great. Randy McNally was great in Tennessee, getting the special session in, done, and out.
Despite the craziness of the Democrats, here from Mississippi today, even though the governor of Mississippi's only agenda item for the special session was judicial redistricting, several Republican state lawmakers and President Trump asked Reeves to add congressional redistricting to the session, but he didn't do it. That seems to me like a missed opportunity.
I think it is too. And we've got South Carolina that just went totally squishy on us.
South Carolina is not entirely done yet, but it is a little squishy. The governor is not calling the special session.
Yeah, it's up to the governor at this point in South Carolina to call the special session.
Because the General Assembly there, the legislature, didn't get to the 2/3 in each house.
Yeah.
They needed to call special session.
And McMaster's is not exactly what I would call a hardcore Republican.
He's not.
Even though Trump endorsed him twice.
He's a kind of a French surrender type guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a Mitt Romney, John McCain type, George W. Bush type Republican. And
by the way, did you see that we've got two competing 250th anniversaries coming up? We got the one that Trump is doing, and then there's a different one. Barack Obama and George W. Bush are doing together. How about that?
That's like
George W.
Yeah.
George W. is gone. I mean,
I will say I was mildly surprised in 2024 that he did not endorse Harris, because I was expecting that kind of backstabbing from him. Of course, I will say this. In early 2001, I knew how worthless George W. Bush was, because after he got into the White House, he started calling Democrat donors to thank them for donating to Democrats. It's like, dude, what are you? And of course, we saw what George W. Bush basically did to the country between the endless wars, endless expansion of programs, and it's arguable that he led us to the fiscal state we are in today.
Well, he's certainly part of it, and he's chummy with Michelle Obama.
Oh yeah,
so
I'm chummy with the Clintons. He's a member of the club. It's a big club, and you and I aren't in it.
Well, here's the great news about that. We live in Tennessee, and we don't want no stinking bushes in Tennessee.
Hey,
Right?
I will say this: if we go back 10 years ago to where we were with Republicans in Tennessee, I don't think let's say Calais had come down, et cetera. I don't think they would have called a special
10 years
session.
ago would not have. Yeah, Haslam would not have. Bill Lee, let's say this, and we were very critical of him when he first ran and wouldn't get rid of that gas tax increase. But the past 2 years,
he's been
really good.
Yeah,
I mean, I have to say that he's going out in strong conservative style,
going out on a high note. Yeah,
he definitely is.
Absolutely.
So okay, I think we're going to have a 9-0 congressional delegation, don't you think?
I think so. I haven't seen the federal lawsuits. I've been looking for them online and can't find them. But the state one,
pretty weak.
It would have to get better just to be weak. And of course, what could be happening is they're running out the clock like the libs tried to do on the Calais decision.
Got it.
And so we'll see.
When we come back, Justin Phillips, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, as always, I'll see
every
if I
Wednesday, breaking news.
I'll see if I can't bring more next
week.
week.
We got 2 breaking stories here.
Yeah.
Already. Sean Farash and 47 will join us. Where's that helicopter? It's flying over Beijing right now.
Yeah.
We got a weird situation going on and how they're going to communicate with us today. We're going to have talk with Trump in the helicopter, and then Sean Farash will transport here for the rest of the hour 3. Back after this.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
This show knows things before anybody else is transmitting it. I said 5 minutes after we make a deal, the price of crude oils can go down $20 a barrel. Well, it went down $20 a barrel today.
It did.
15 days from now, and if it looks like we have a good deal, it'll go down another $25 a barrel.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
And that's a good sign for us, obviously, and for the free world.
Ponder this. We intake oxygen every time we breathe, and breathing is how we stay alive. When God first created man, he breathed life into him. Our Lord also breathed spiritual life into his apostles and filled Pentecost. Oxygen is a source of life both physically and spiritually. It's the same with fire. Oxygen is needed in order to keep a fire burning, which begs the question, are you on fire for the Lord, or has your spiritual oxygen been extinguished? To answer this, we must go to the source. The source of our spiritual oxygen is the Lord himself. Without him, there is no life within us. Those are his words, not mine. We are called to tap into this life source by baptism, daily prayer, and receiving the sacraments, especially Holy Communion if you are a Catholic, in the state of grace. If we tap into this life source every day, our lives will be filled with the love of the Lord, our spiritual oxygen. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at
WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis, AM 760, AM 730. The Flame.
Breaking news this hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. One measure of inflation before it hits consumers was higher last month. The cost of energy led the way as the Producer Price Index, that's a measure of wholesale prices, rose by 1.4% from March to April. Donna Warder reports the latest Consumer Price Index report shows food prices also on the way up.
Government figures released Tuesday show that grocery prices overall rose 2.9% in April compared to the same month a year earlier, the highest year-over-year inflation since August 2023. For just fresh fruit and vegetables, a 6.5% increase. For meat, up 8.8%. Part of the reason, fuel prices, which have soared as cargo ships that carry much of the world's oil supply have been blocked from passing through the Strait of Hormuz during the Iran war. I'm Donna Warder.
And correspondent Willie Weissert in Beijing reports on President Trump's visit to China.
He comes at a time when the war in Iran has hurt his popularity at home. It's raised energy prices around the world and unstabilized markets. Trump is going to talk about Iran when he meets in a state visit with his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping. He's already expressed some frustration with the Chinese, saying that they haven't used their strong economic ties to Iran to pressure the Iranian authorities to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which could ease oil prices.
Republican senators in Louisiana have advanced a plan to eliminate one of 2 majority-black Democrat-held congressional seats. Here's Willie Nelson.
The Senate committee vote early Wednesday follows a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that struck down the state's House map as an illegal racial gerrymander. Committee members heard hours of testimony from black residents and Democrats opposed to the move. Republicans chose not to target both Democratic seats. Those efforts are part of a broader national redistricting battle that has involved about 1/3 of the states. Willie Nelson, Washington.
More at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Here's Rich Thomason now with the Midday Wall Street Business Report.
Wholesale inflation came in hot last month. Producer prices rose 6% from a year earlier, the most since December 2022, as the 10-week Iran war pushed up energy prices, putting pressure on businesses to pass along higher expenses to consumers. The Labor Department reports its producer price index, measuring inflation before it hits consumers, shot up 1.4% in April for the biggest monthly gain since March 2022. The numbers much higher than economists had been expecting. President Trump says as far as he's concerned, trade will be the top issue in his talks with Chinese President Xi in Beijing. The president, accompanied by American tech, industry, and finance leaders, arrived in Beijing earlier today. Japan's SoftBank has racked up huge gains in profits with a big lift from lucrative AI investments. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
You'll find breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Prosecutors have been granted access to prescription drug records for the world's most famous golfer after his Florida DUI arrest.
A judge has ruled that Tiger Woods' prescription drug records will be handed over to prosecutors following his March arrest in Florida on suspicion of driving under the influence. A judge approved an agreement between Woods' defense attorney and prosecutors following a 4-minute hearing in Martin County Circuit Court. Prosecutors had issued a subpoena seeking copies of all prescription medication records for the legendary golfer from the start of the year through the end of March.
That is Gethin Coolbaugh reporting. The San Francisco 49ers will bookend the NFL's largest ever international slate by playing the 2026 season opener in Melbourne against their NFC rivals, the Los Angeles Rams. Later, they'll face the Minnesota Vikings in Week 11. In Mexico City, the NFL has a record 9 games scheduled outside the U.S. this year. More at...
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Well, if all goes well, I'm listening to that helicopter. 47 and Sean Farash, they are coming in hot. Now, I don't understand entirely the technology of it, but as you know, 47 is in Beijing, but I think they've been using the discombobulator or some kind of capability to be here, at least for the first segment. And we'll be talking a little bit about everything going on in China with 47 and with the very best Trump impersonator in the world, Sean Farash. And, of course, Sean, as you know, is a great guy, and you see him a lot. His profile is, over the moon right now. You see him everywhere, and everybody seems to recognize him as the very best Trump impersonator in the world. In our next segment, we'll see he did about every 2 weeks, Sean comes up with a fascinating Trump impersonation. And, it's sort of what is a timely situation. He's got a clip about, let's see if we can maybe get that clip right now. Here is Sean Farash talking about UFOs and aliens.
My fellow Earthlings, this is your favorite president, and it is my complete and total honor to confirm the existence of extraterrestrials. They call them extraterrestrials. I call them aliens. I got along very well with many highly respected aliens all across the universe. You look at, you may have heard of him, E.T., tremendous guy, and he came to Earth, and he said to me, "Sir, E.T. phoned home, sir. He wanted to go home." and he couldn't go home. But we made a perfect phone call, and we sent him home. And now the Democrats are impeaching me over it. E.T. phone home. It was a perfect call. He pointed, he said, ouch. And we sent him home. But he's a tremendous guy. We get along very well. I also get along well with Marvin the Martian. And he showed me a big, beautiful weapon of his, the Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator. I call it the discombobulator. You look at it. It's a discombobulator. It'll discombobulate the hell out of you. You don't want to get hit with that thing, but Marvin's a great guy. And he said to me, sir, you have to help us out on Mars, sir. It's the red planet, but the Democrats are trying to turn it blue with mail-in ballots at 3 a.m. We can't let it happen, sir. I said, Marvin, we're not going to let it happen. We're going to make Mars great again. And Mars is a tremendous place. We're going to be there soon, but we get along very well with Marvin. We've been visited by aliens a number of times. They call them encounters. And you look at Roswell, never would have happened if I was your president. But the aliens have been coming here for a long time. And they came down when Crooked Joe was your president. They said, we see no sign of intelligent life anywhere. They looked at Crooked Joe and AOC, and they said, there's no intelligent life on this planet. But the aliens are great people. We get along very well with them. And we said that if they don't come in peace, they said, sir, we come in peace. I said, if you don't come in peace, we're going to hit you with intergalactic tariffs, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. Yeah, we have Space Force. We have so many beautiful tools. And we get along very well with the aliens. So they're real. They've been here. And we have a tremendous relationship with them. Thank you. God bless America. God bless the galaxy. And thank you for your attention to this matter.
In Studios 47, now I don't know exactly how we did it. I think we got a little technology from Marvin the Martian. He's got a discombobulator transporter, apparently. And so you're able to be here, even though you're going to go back. We just landed in Beijing. Welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show.
Well, you know, our friend Marvin the Martian is a tremendous guy, the Q-36 Illudium explosive space modulator, also known as the discombobulator, also known as a teleporter or a Trump-porter, right? We're
Trump-porter. There you go.
And we're in China, but we're also in Nashville. Right?
And so after this short interview, you're going to get back on the Trump-porter because you don't sleep, right?
We don't do that.
Don't sleep.
We don't need to do that. You know, a lot of people sleep. Look at Crooked Joe, Sleepy Joe. You look at a lot of low-energy people, they sleep. We don't sleep. We don't have to do that. They say, sir, you're supposed to sleep, sir. We're not going to do that. We don't have any reason to do that. When we're up, we're making deals. When we're sleeping, we're dreaming. We don't need to dream. We just want to make deals. And we're going to use the Trump-porter to go all over the world very quickly.
So you're in China.
China
right now.
I get along well with China. You know who else got along well with China for a little bit was Eric Swalwell. Then he didn't get along with China. I call her Chinese takeout. You look at Fang Fang. He had a little too much roast pork lo mein. You're not supposed to do that. And I hear he has a very small egg roll. Very tiny.
Is that
and very tiny dumplings, too. Very small dumplings.
Is that the first time we've heard about his tiny egg roll?
He has a very small. Fang Fang said, that's not an egg roll, sir. And those are very small wontons. Think about it.
So what kind of deal are you looking to cut with Xi of China?
Well, we're looking at many things. You know, you're looking at trade deals, economic deals, maybe Iran. Maybe they'll take Swalwell or Tim Walz back. You know, Tim Walz loves China.
He does.
So we may send him over there for nothing, by the way. You know, you see in baseball, they trade players for cash or a player to be named later. We're going to give Tim Walz to China for free. They don't want him. But we're going to give him up for free. So we'll see what we can deal with. You know, you look at Xi. I call him Winnie the Pooh. He looks a lot like Winnie the Pooh. He says to me, sir, please don't call me Winnie the Pooh. I said, you're going to have to stop looking like Winnie the Pooh. You don't want me to call you that. But I call him Winnie the Pooh. And I got along very well with Christopher Robin. And I brought Xi Jinping honey. I brought him honey from our big, beautiful bees. And I said to him, Winnie, this is for you. Now let's make a beautiful deal. And he was not too thrilled about it, but we're going to have a tremendous time. A lot better than, remember when Janet Yellen went to China and she tripped on mushrooms? You're not supposed to do that. But she went on a trip, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before, and she's a crazy person. We have Besant, who's our Treasury Secretary, and a lot of beautiful people with us in China, and we're going to make a beautiful deal.
You got Elon Musk there.
We're going to make a beautiful deal.
You got Tim Cook from Apple.
We have beautiful people, the greatest people, and they don't want to see China continuing to rip off our country. So we're going to have a wonderful deal when all is said and done.
Now, do you think? I think Xi is coming here in September or October, isn't he?
Well, he might be doing that, and we can show him the big, beautiful bees and his honey again. Winnie the Pooh visits America, but we want to have a good relationship with China, and we get along very well with China.
What about the guy? What about the deal in Iran? It sounds like you said that's on life support, the ceasefire. What's going to happen when you get back to the States on Friday?
Well, I think we're going to drop. We may drop Katie Porter on him. We may do that because she's on Ozempic, but she's still big. And we also have Chris Christie. We have Stacey Abrams. We have a lot of bunker busters, big, beautiful bombs that we could drop on these people. They're eaters too. They like to eat, and there's not a lot of food in Iran right now. We're going to say we're going to eat you. We could drop Rosie, too. She's causing a potato famine in Ireland right now.
Another potato famine.
She's caused the second one, 2.0. They call it 2.0. But we could drop anybody in Iran. They're going to devastate their food supply. And they don't want us to do that. Please don't drop Chris Christie, they said to me. Well, we have to get a beautiful deal. But we may drop Chris Christie to eat the nuclear dust, too. Who knows? We could use him as a containment unit. There's a lot of space. And we'll see what happens.
Well, Mr. President, I think you need to get on the Trump Porter. The Trump Porter. How do we pronounce it?
It's called a Trump Porter.
Trump Porter.
It's a Trump Porter, and we also have on the border something called a Trump Pult.
Aha.
Where if ICE finds you, we load you up on the Trump Pult and we fling you back to your home country.
The Trump
a beautiful
Porter
thing.
and the Trump Pult. Okay,
right.
well, we'll put you on the Trump Porter, and then the next time we'll see you, you'll be talking with Xi, Winnie the Pooh.
We love Winnie the Pooh. He's a
hey,
great guy.
Can Sean Farash stick around?
He can stick around. He's a
All
good
right.
guy, too.
We'll be back with Sean Farash after this.
Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just one scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com.
Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Sean Farash, the very best Trump impersonator in the world, in the galaxy.
The galaxy. Nobody does a better job. I get along very well with the holes of color, right? Black holes. You can't call them black holes anymore. You have to call them holes of color. They say, sir, that's racist.
And a proud Tennessean.
Yes.
And like me.
Especially after last week. Especially after House Speaker Sexton said, oh, yeah, you Democrats who were screwing around, you're no longer on those committees.
Well, they broke all the rules of the House.
Love it.
Every single Democrat did.
I love it. I love the state so much. It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's a
great
really
place to live.
It's great.
Yeah.
Now, just to the north of us, Sean, is the state of Kentucky, which we like. It's not Tennessee.
It's not Tennessee.
It's not. There's only one Tennessee. But there is, of course, a Republican member of the House.
Air quotes.
Yeah, Republican Libertarian asterisk, Thomas Massey, who has spent a career, he's a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
MIT grad.
Sure.
He spent most of his career opposing President Trump on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And so there's a big primary up there.
Yes.
Now, the primary,
next Tuesday.
Thomas was ahead, but now, Massey was ahead, but now there's some reporting that he's a little bit behind the challenger. But then the scandal breaks. I'm just going to read from Newsweek, their story published this morning.
Oh, this made it to Newsweek, too, because I know it got to Axios also. So it made it up to some of those outlets.
Newsweek, it published this morning at 5:48 Eastern Time, and then updated at 11:39 Eastern Time, which would be, less than an hour ago. Headline, who is Cynthia West, ? Thomas Massey accusations explained. The former girlfriend of Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey has accused the congressman of offering her hush money in exchange for not speaking out against one of his allies on Capitol Hill just days before the GOP representative faces a primary against a Trump-endorsed challenger. Okay, where's the rest of the story go? Let me read this. Cynthia West, a former congressional aide now running for school board in Florida, didn't know that, has alleged that Massey secured her a job in Congress in the office of Republican Representative Victoria Spartz of Indiana after the pair struck up a romantic relationship.
Now, I believe Victoria Spartz has acknowledged her employment.
Okay.
Okay. What is unclear is what were the terms, right? Like, were they in a romantic relationship or not? Now, there's a post from somebody on X, who is presumed to be Cynthia West, replying to Tim Burchett, saying, hey, we saw you on the Hill when I was with Thomas. Many people believe that means with Thomas Massey. Again, these are allegations. I don't even know if there's criminal behavior here. It's just embarrassing if the majority of this is true.
Well, however, West said, Massey soon began engaging in behavior she, quote, wasn't comfortable, end quote, with. After which she ended the relationship. West said Massey offered her $5,000 after she said she would file a wrongful termination complaint against Spartz, who she said had fostered a toxic work environment. West said she declined this as well as a $60,000 settlement payment from the Office of Congressional Workplace Rights, which would have required her to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Okay. Yeah, it's messy.
It's messy. My question is what she's saying verifiable, right? Like, so what was that, the Office of Congressional Workplace Management?
Yeah.
Is that connected in any way, shape, or form to that congressional slush fund that's supposed to be?
I think it's actually, the $60,000 is from her dismissal by Victoria Sparks, the Indiana congresswoman,
Okay, gotcha.
the native of Ukraine. Let's continue on this personal stuff. So Massey's wife passed away, tragically, a couple years ago of cancer. But this Cynthia West is alleging she was very shortly thereafter.
Right. And it's important to make the distinction that it was allegedly after Massey's wife passed away. So there wasn't any, infidelity there. But, quick rebound. I don't know. Again, if it's true, this isn't, by the way, it's not criminal behavior, but it's messy.
Okay, let's look at this. According to Legistorm, West worked between December 2024 and March 2025. That's like 3 months, 4 months, as an operations and scheduling director for Sparks, who represents Indiana's 5th congressional district. Records from Sparks' office show that West was employed between early January and late March, and that she was paid $17,000 during this 12-week period. She worked 3 months. I
don't know.
This is a little weird, right?
It is weird. My thing is if she's lying, I feel like we know she worked in Sparks' office, right? So
For
that's
3 months.
But her story is that he got her the job, Massey got her the job, and then had her fired when she stopped playing ball with him in the relationship. That's the allegation.
That's an allegation.
The timeline of her employment matches that. If that's how it went down, we just don't know if that's how.
But think about it. So she was 3 months with it. Something doesn't ring true.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. And to me, my issue with Massey is not what he did or didn't do or whatever happened to this woman.
This is a political hit job.
It is, but she's been talking about this since 2025.
Good point.
So this isn't something where she's like, all right, a week before the primary, I'm going to get him. Her account on social media has been vocal about what she alleges happened between her and Massey
for a long time,
for about a year, since like September of 2025. I saw posts about from her account, the account that's purported to be her.
They've been elevated now,
yes,
because of the primary
and because the deadline to sign the NDA was up. Okay, and so she declined to sign the NDA. And declined to take the $60,000. And so that time, I find the timing to be suspicious, and I would find it to be even more suspicious had she not been talking about this for the last 8 or 9 months.
Yeah, that's a good point. So tell us about the primary on Thursday. Some polling information you have on it?
Yes. So Qantas Insights back in early April found Thomas Massey up 8 points. Qantas Insights now, 2 weeks into May, the survey was done between the 11th and the 13th. The Qantas Insights poll that they just ran in the month of May, 903 likely voters. The poll that they ran at the beginning of April was only of 430 likely voters, so this poll has a much larger sample size. And it looks like Galrain actually expands his lead against Massey when you factor in leaners, who is winning on the basis of 2-1.
So the lefty state newsroom outlet in Kentucky, it's the counterpart to the Tennessee Lookout here,
okay,
right?
Okay,
called the Kentucky Lantern. Mm-hmm. The left-wing billionaires put in about $20 million a year to cover all these state things.
Sure,
right. Here's where they're just broke a few minutes ago. Massey consults lawyer after hush money allegations ahead of Kentucky primary.
Yeah, Massey responded, said the allegations were false, that he's looking for a lawyer. Fine, that's fine. Defend yourself. I don't even know if he's being alleged of committing a crime. I think there was an allegation that he used money that was, that he moved around, taxes and all this. I don't know. I don't particularly care, right? I'm more upset with the fact that this guy grandstands all the time on Capitol Hill.
Oh, yeah.
What I don't
he's
like
a grandstander.
is the fact that he puts himself forward as this fiscal conservative, didn't want to vote for the big, beautiful bill, which was going to extend tax cuts to many working-class Americans. However, in May of 2023, he was the deciding vote on what was called the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which is a joke, in the House of Representatives, the deciding vote in the House Rules Committee to get that Fiscal Responsibility Act out of committee, which suspended the debt ceiling under Joe Biden, adding $1.5 trillion to national debt. So here's a guy who tells you all about how I'm a fiscal conservative. I want to get spending under control. And you had the opportunity there, Thomas Massie, to shut that debt ceiling suspension down in 2023 as the deciding vote, 7-6 in the House Rules Committee, and he voted for it to leave committee, and then he voted in favor on the House floor again. So I don't want to hear about fiscal responsibility. This guy is single-handedly responsible for adding $1.5 trillion to the national debt. Meanwhile, he tells us that's what he cares about. The dude is a fraud, and that's why I don't like him. Whether this story came out or not.
This is a political hit, basically.
Whether the story was out or not.
Of truth.
Whether the story was out or not, I'd still feel the same way about Massie, and I felt this way for a while. The guy blocked me on social media for asking questions, then said, we should be allowed to ask questions. Yeah, fine, whatever. I hope he loses next Tuesday. I really do.
Yeah.
I hope he loses next
We'll
Tuesday.
see, but I think it's going to be very close.
It's going to be close.
He's running against, they have a Shelby County in Kentucky, too. He's running against Shelby County Republican Ed Galloway.
Yes.
Who was endorsed by Donald Trump in October.
Navy
So
SEAL.
it's going to be tight. There is a libertarian tendency among a number of Kentucky voters.
Correct.
Thomas Massie is backed by Senator Rand Paul.
He's also backed, I believe, by Ron Paul, Rand Paul's father.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting, though. Of all the money that Thomas Massie has been donated or has received, only $70,000 comes from Kentucky. I don't think he's very popular in his district,
Good
and
point.
that might be an issue.
We'll be back with more with Sean Farash. Talk about Cam Sexton taking it to the Democrats, who are insane, after this with Sean Farash.
Let's get real for a minute. Today's customers aren't just searching on Google anymore. And if your business isn't keeping up with new technology, you are getting left behind. EJ Host here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Customers are asking AI, they're scrolling social, they're checking maps. Does your business show up everywhere your customers are searching? Go to getfoundeverywhere.com and get your business to show up across AI search tools, social platforms, maps, and more. Need smarter ads that actually convert? We've got it. Need a modern website built to rank and perform? Done. Want to show up in AI-driven search results that your competitors don't even understand yet? We've got you covered, and the solutions are more affordable than ever. See how easy it is to grow your business and get more customers. Go to getfoundeverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is Michael Patrick Leahy. I want to say a few words about our friends at DT McCall's. This is the place to go if you want appliances, furniture, lawn equipment, or gun safes. They have 5 locations in Middle Tennessee, Franklin, Carthage, Lebanon, Cookeville, and Lafayette, and have been a family-owned business for more than 100 years. We bought our refrigerator and dishwasher from DT McCall's, and these appliances have been great. And the delivery and installation service was just fantastic. By the way, free delivery and haul away of your old appliance or furniture within 125 miles of Carthage. And DT McCall's is one of the top 10 dealers of Cub Cadet lawnmowers in the country. And don't forget, you can get your Liberty gun safes there. That's DT McCall's on the web at dtmccalls.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
All right, we're back with the great Sean Farage. Sean, the very best Trump impersonator in the world. Okay, so I just got to talk about, we played earlier your UFO alien clip where you mentioned the great Marvin the Martian.
Yes, we got along well with Marvin.
What was the name of that?
It was the from his
Illudium.
The Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator. Remember that from the cartoons?
I do.
Him and Bugs Bunny.
Okay, so that one has been very well viewed. What, 1.8 million views on X?
Yeah,
that's a pretty big view for you.
That's good. Yeah.
What prompted that, and what was your thinking on it? And by the way, kudos for the intergalactic tariff.
Intergalactic tariffs. Yep. I have been sitting. When I tell you, I have been sitting on Trump and aliens for a while. I've wanted it. Last week we had a lot of fun. Last week we had Star Wars Day. Last week I had Cinco de Porto, and last week we had aliens. So, the aliens bit was something I've been sitting on for a while, and really was getting ready to do after Trump announced that he was going to release the aliens files. But I waited until it didn't feel right that first time I was doing it. I waited until the first batch came out. And the morning of, I was like, I'm thinking, Trump loves to say he gets along well with so-and-so and so-and-so. So I had remembered that Marvin the Martian was a famous alien. E.T. was always E.T. was always going to be a part of the bit because E.T. phoned home and Trump, perfect phone call.
Right, yeah.
But Marvin the Martian, and I was like, what is the name of that weapon he used to have? And it's the Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator. And I said, well, we can roll that.
You gotta love that.
Discombobulator, right? The Venezuela weapon, right? So we used that. And the Mars joke, which was, Mars is the red planet, but the Democrats want to turn it blue with mail-in ballots, or something I've been sitting on since I thought of maybe Trump doing like an astronomy bit. Here's the gas giants, Chris Christie and Stacey Abrams, and Mars is the red. So there were a lot of things that I had in various concepts that just came together for the aliens bit, and it was well received.
Do you have some do you write down these potential
sometimes
scripts or ideas?
Yeah.
How many in your mind right now are possible? Are waiting?
There's a small handful. I will say this: I ordered a lab coat and a stethoscope. So we're thinking of because how the White House released that little prescription for Trump derangement syndrome. I was thinking of Dr. Donald.
Okay. Well,
so I've got a lab coat.
All right, we'll see.
I happen to look very good in the lab coat, by the way. The stethoscope is on the way.
Dr. Donald.
There could be, a little bit of Trump hears his own heartbeat and starts to.
But here's the thing about this.
That's it, Dr. Donald.
You have an exquisite sense of timing.
Well, I mean, I have these. That's the best part about having the bits kind of in my head, and then just gotta be patient and wait for the right time to do them.
Wait. Now.
Right.
Is that how it goes?
Right.
That's so much fun.
Right.
Let's talk about some Tennessee politics.
Yeah.
Where were you last week when, the State House went crazy, the Democrats went crazy? We've got a little picture here of one of the Democrats in the state Senate, Charlene Oliver. She got up on her desk.
Not supposed to do that.
She was looking like she was about to do a lap dance.
Mm-hmm. Or she was going to drop an elbow on somebody.
Yeah.
This is why we need Glenn Jacobs in the house, because he was a wrestler. He could have put her through a table. Choke slam.
Okay,
little cane action, right?
For the first time in the history of the state of Tennessee, all Democrat members of the Tennessee House of Representatives broke the rules of the House. Like there's 6 different rules they broke.
Right.
Right. In creating this chaos.
Speaker Sexton highlighted those in his letter.
He did, and
Right.
and he kind of dropped the hammer on him.
He did. I'm happy to see it. You know, FAFO, right?
Yeah.
And you got these people breaking rules. He said, "Oh, are you going to break rules? You're no longer on any of your committee assignments." That's it. And now they're saying, "Oh, he did it because he's mean. He's racist." Shh. Justin Pearson. Come on. I love the country, by the way, kind of figuring out who this guy is. They're like, who is this? He had the weird dancing, and he's trying to sound like,
Did you see that
Martin.
video of him doing the chicken dance?
Yeah, weird, and him screaming and yelling on the House floor like he's Malcolm X and MLK. It's like, it's just, people are like, oh, these guys are crazy. Oh, that's just Justin Pearson, And Jones, same deal. And, the Tennessee Three, right? Was it Pearson, Jones, and Gloria something?
Yeah,
Gloria Johnson. These people, crazy people in this state. And I'm happy to see Speaker Sexton kind of drop the hammer on him and say, you can't break the rules. You break the rules, you're going to face the consequences. Good. It's not about race. It's about the fact that you could not behave like a human being. Mm-hmm. You're an elected representative. There's supposed to be decorum. There are rules to follow. And if you don't follow them, then you're going to face consequences. And because if there's no consequences for breaking rules, what's the point of having rules? So there it is.
They did not file the rules. That's
they
for
didn't.
sure.
And that's it. It's not like he just rolled out of bed, Cameron Sexton did, and said, we're taking him off committee. There's obviously.
They did a few things, didn't they?
Yeah, a few. The woman standing on the table. You're not supposed to stand on the desk.
That would be a violation of the state senate.
I would imagine.
Yeah, blowing the air horn. Violation of the rules.
They were locking arms and keeping people from walking through. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Now, you broke the rules. You thought nothing was going to happen to you. No, you now will face the consequences. Good. It is time everywhere for people to start holding these Democrats accountable for when they break rules, whether they're laws, whether they're rules, whether it's protocol, whatever it is. Hold them accountable. Once you start levying meaningful consequences, that's how you correct bad behavior. You don't correct bad behavior by ignoring the problem.
Yeah.
Right? You ignore a leak in your roof, what happens? It gets worse, right? You have to address the problem. Mm-hmm. Address the problem by hitting it with a solution. And in this case, taking them off their committees might serve as a solution. Let's see what happens. But there's anyone saying it's unfounded or that it's like racially motivated is ridiculous. They made a scene. They broke the rules.
In ways that had not, in the entire history of the state.
Right.
Had never been done.
So kudos because he knew he was going to get pushback, and he knew he was probably going to be called a racist for it. But kudos to Speaker Sexton for having the fortitude to follow through. I like that.
I got another Tennessee politics story for you. So did you see, you were not here. You were not a resident of the state of Tennessee when Megan Barry was rocking the SUV at the cemetery with her security guard.
No.
You don't remember any of this?
No. I did hear the story. I remember hearing this story. But, so
let's
she was in there.
Let's get that clip.
Is this like with Nikki Haley with the escapades in the Escalade? Is that what it is?
There were escapades in the Escalade.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
This was with her security guard. Remember, she ended up resigning in disgrace.
Right.
But one of the things, do we have this clip here? Let's just play this. You might want to listen to this story. You'll get the gist of it.
And tonight, in another News Channel 5 Investigates exclusive, we've uncovered security video that shows how the two managed to find some quiet time inside Nashville's most famous historic cemetery.
When I've had an extramarital affair.
Ever since the mayor's admission of a 2-year affair with her police bodyguard, Barry has adamantly defended the overtime paid to Sergeant Rob Forrest, insisting that every hour billed to taxpayers was legit.
Was he getting paid at any point when you all were having your personal time?
No.
Yet the rumors persisted.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us,
including on this call-in show on News Channel 5 Plus.
I know for a fact there were several meetings with her, with this guy in the city cemetery just about every morning.
The city cemetery is the oldest public cemetery in Nashville, and other sources told similar stories about the white SUV used by Forrest to drive the mayor being spotted there in the early morning hours. And when we pulled security video from neighboring businesses, there it was at 7:29 on this day in October.
Okay.
The Tuesday before Thanksgiving, it arrived at 7:22. And the Monday after the long holiday weekend, they were back at 7:21. There was also this Monday in December at 7:16. A week later at 7:36. And as recently as January 8th at 7:34.
Okay, so they were rocking the Escalade
Well, if you
at the
s-
cemetery.
When the truck is a rocking, don't come a knocking, huh? Holy, that's the most life that cemetery has seen in years.
So this was 2000. She resigned in disgrace in 2018.
What position did she hold?
She was the mayor
of Nashville.
Yeah. She was.
And she was getting busy with her security guard and paying him overtime.
Yeah.
He got a raw deal. He should have waited till no tax on overtime, right? What a raw deal.
This was 2018.
Wow.
And then the mayors, she was succeeded by David Briley, who was succeeded by John Cooper.
Cooper and then Freddie.
Fidel Freddie,
Yeah.
Antoinette.
Do you think Fidel Freddie is...
I don't
know.
No,
Okay.
there's no such. But I just, now, do you know what she's doing now?
No, other than admitting what she did.
Well, now she's running for Congress.
Stop it. Where? What district? Tell me the 7th. That's a wild district.
No, the 6th.
Oh,
the
rats.
6th.
I was going to hope that she would primary aft in vain and they could have a little fight.
She's pulled the papers and she's running
Well,
for
she was
Congress.
pulling something, I'll tell you what.
Well,
more than papers in that SUV. Escapades in the Escalade. That's bad. That's an embarrassing story. That is an embarrassing. So they were doing this in the cemetery?
Yeah.
Figuring nobody will catch us here.
Except for the
cameras.
Now, she's still married to her husband.
Why? What is wrong with the husband?
The security.
What is wrong with these people? Christy Noem's husband is with her. Oh, he's got his own situation, but there's an open secret, rumors with Lewandowski. Why would you stay married to this woman after she cheated on you in a cemetery? What the hell is wrong with these people? I can't. These stories like this are just so silly. It's crazy.
Welcome back. Welcome to Tennessee. This was Tennessee.
I love this
This was
state.
2018.
I love this state so
Of course,
much.
Nashville.
Oh, man.
Now she's going to run. I don't know what her campaign theme is going to be.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we could get kind of creative, right? Back from the dead. Gosh.
Bringing life to the 6th district, right?
Oh, man. When the truck is a rocking, don't come a knocking, right? Holy cow.
But her bodyguard, resigned in disgrace.
What's he up to?
Well, he's divorced from his wife. His wife divorced.
Well, at least his wife is smarter than her husband.
Yeah. Her husband's on the faculty at the Vanderbilt University own Graduate School of Management.
Wonderful. I didn't see that one coming. Wow. Somebody.
You can also see
education. It's interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of weird. Also,
kind of weird. That's one of the funniest stories I've heard in a long time.
A lot of people,
this is the news. Here's the SUV this time, and 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 there they are behind that headstone. And wow.
Yeah. So this is like, a lot of people who are new to Tennessee aren't familiar with the escapades of the former mayor.
That was the white SUV. You see that white SUV, you know what's going on in there. Holy smokes, that's funny.
So in the new 9th district, which goes from Shelby County all the way up to in Memphis, all the way up to Williamson, Rutherford County, just south of Nashville, London Lamar is challenging Justin Pearson for the Democrat nomination.
Okay.
So she's a state senator from Memphis. Apparently, he's not going to be anointed as a Democrat nominee, and Brent Taylor will just beat him like a drum.
Yes, Brent Taylor's gotten a couple of big endorsements in Tennessee already. Berkshire just came out and endorsed him this morning. So he's a state senator as well, right?
Who?
Brent Taylor.
Yeah, he's from Memphis. When we come back, Sean, News Potpourri. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy, back after this.
This is Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Solti, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Solti has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Solti for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Solti and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Solti, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Solti
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back, folks. It's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. Still love that music.
I wonder if this was the music they were listening to in the SUV.
No.
Probably not. Probably something slower.
I think it was a little slower.
More saxophone.
It was more, who's that guy? Barry White?
Yes.
Deep
voice. Could be.
Yeah. Brian Wilson, who had just come on mornings at WTN here in Nashville at that time, had a song, took a, kind of a Barry White kind of song that he would play as the signature whenever he talked about Megan Barry. Speaking of political stuff, here's something interesting. You see, Donald Trump wants to change the name of ICE.
Yes.
Want to see that clip? Here we go.
So I get a call from Tom Homan. He didn't like it, but everyone else liked it. I wanted to change the name of ICE, which is a tough name, to NICE, so that when the fake news reports, they said it was a nice day with NICE. We spent a beautiful day with NICE. I said, you will screw them up so badly they won't know what to do. But they said the people that work there didn't like the name as much. I love the name.
I do too.
It's funny.
It's funny.
It's, Trump's a marketing genius.
The National
Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Yeah.
Just
and
nice. You can't be made with nice.
And the Secretary of Homeland Security can make the change just by issuing an order.
Mark Wayne Mullen.
Yeah.
He's done a good job thus far.
Yeah. I don't think I guess there's resistance, but I think nice would be nice.
Nice would be. I
think
it would be a funny thing to do. Very funny.
Speaking of Congress, right now, we talked about the libertarians in Kentucky. You got Thomas Massey, who I don't like either. And then you've got Rand Paul, who I sometimes like.
I sometimes like Rand Paul.
And
yeah.
sometimes don't. But I tell you what, he's brought in a whistleblower.
Oh, I heard about this, yes.
He's testifying now about the origins of COVID. And
so this is where I like Rand Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, the Rand Paul's been saying for a decade that the U.S. funded the gain of function research in Wuhan.
He was way out in front of it.
And that led to, and then the COVID bacteria escaped, virus escaped, and boom, that's what caused it. I think that's probably what happened.
He's been way out in front of it. And even during COVID, because he's an ophthalmologist.
Yeah.
He got COVID, and then as soon as he was over his case with natural immunity, he started volunteering in hospitals. I have always had a lot of respect for Rand Paul. Recently, I disagree with him on a couple of things, tariffs being one of them. I don't think the libertarian idea of free trade is necessarily practical. I think fair trade is a better place to go.
Yeah, I agree.
But overall, I have more of a tolerance for a Rand Paul than I do of a Massey.
By a long
I do.
shot.
I like Rand Paul a lot. And I love his father. I really do like Ron Paul.
Yeah.
I do.
So, speaking of various elements of tolerance, I don't have a lot of tolerance for most Western European leaders. Keir Starmer is a disaster.
Loser.
And Macron.
He's a woman.
In France.
Sits when he pees.
He has a very weird idea about where the future of France is. I'm going to play this clip and then want to get your reaction to it.
More than just security partnerships with countries like Ghana, Benin, and Nigeria. Nigeria. We never really spoke about security with Nigeria in the past, but we're now talking about it. We're talking about the future. I actually have no regrets. I feel that there is a lot of ambition to be had for this continent, and I love the African continent. I think it is the youngest continent, the most dynamic continent.
So Africa's a mess.
Yeah.
No offense.
No, it's a
mess.
But
it's a mess.
It's a mess.
And this guy, the head of the government of France, Macron, thinks that the future of France is a mess of a continent.
I'll tell you what happened.
Tell me what happened.
He got a call from somebody. And on that call, he said, "Hello, Macron." And on that call, the guy said, "You have won the Nigerian lottery." And so, he's getting scammed.
Was that from a prince?
He's getting scammed. Yeah, Nigerian prince. "We have tried to reach your email," right? And so, they call him, and he says, "This sounds great. Let's run the future of France through a third world country." Okay. Have at it.
Crazy.
Okay. I don't like Western European leaders either.
They are disconnected from reality.
Big time.
Yeah, big time.
Big time.
Hey, here's one. Jonathan Turley has a piece out. Democrat lawyer Mark Elias races power to eliminate the Virginia government in response to gerrymandering decision. Democratic lawyer Mark Elias appears to believe the Democrats do not need to stop at simply sacking and packing the Virginia State Supreme Court in response to the adverse ruling on the radical gerrymandering plan. Elias reminded Democrats they could eliminate the entire Virginia government under the state constitution.
Holy cow. So what happened to No Kings? Huh? You know what? Mark Elias has been on one lately. He is not happy about Virginia. He was nearly in tears on MS Now. And I have a rule. My rule is every time Mark Elias is unhappy about something, it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That guy, Clinton lawyer, he was out before COVID suing in a ton of swing states to expand their absentee ballot programs and whatnot before COVID. Almost like he kind of knew maybe what was in the works. Maybe not. But put a little tinfoil on the hat. Maybe we'll see what goes on. I don't like that guy. He was very involved with the Steele dossier. I don't like that guy. When he's upset, I'm not upset. I'm happy. So I want to continue to see him pitch
The world is moving
fits.
towards good things when Mark Elias is upset.
He's a scumbag. I can't stand him.
Speaking of that word, Lane Kiffin.
Speaking of scumbags, right? There you go. Yeah, well, it's
the new head coach at LSU.
Appropriate.
Apparently is claiming one of the reasons he left Ole Miss is because it's not diverse enough. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Very good.
He's throwing shade at his former employer.
Now I have another reason to not like Lane Kiffin.
Does anybody other than the team that he's coaching, Does anybody like Lane Kiffin?
I don't think so. And the team that he's coaching probably won't like him in a year or two either when he leaves.
He's basically, if he doesn't win the national championship,
failure.
Sean Farash.
Yes.
So much fun.
A lot of fun.
Thanks
Always.
for having us here. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Central Time. He's Sean Farash. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. The website, TennesseeStar.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
FlatFeeNashville.com, FlatFeeNashville.com.